So now that this season's FNCS is coming to a close, I would like to recap and give you guys 7 extremely important tips on exactly how to prepare and succeed in FNCS. You guys can use this video as sort of a checklist before each and every single season, making sure that you're doing all 7 of these things in order to properly place in this tournament. Now be sure to use code SonataYT in the Fortnite item shop if you guys do want to support me. Let's get right into it. So to start off, the first tip that I would give you guys is to set yourself a really good schedule. Now this is so that you guys can hold yourself accountable when you are trying to play in practice. For example, if you miss a day, then you hold yourself accountable, know that you didn't follow your own schedule. And then if you have a day where you're free, you have an actual schedule to go by. You don't just waste your time sitting on your computer and playing creative. However, you do need to make it very realistic and plan it around anything else that may pop up during the day. So for example, if you're in high school and you have school, then plan your schedule around your school day. If you play a sport, plan it around that. Make sure that you have a realistic schedule because I know most of you guys watching these videos are teenagers and you need to be able to actually play when you guys say you're going to be. Now, not only will a schedule give you a lot of discipline when it comes to actually playing Fortnite, it'll help you structure your gameplay in order to focus on what you need to improve on the most. So let's say that you need to improve on your aim the most, you should schedule your day around aiming a lot more. Maybe do a couple more aim duels, do some kovacs, do some aim trainers. This is a really big benefit of actually creating a schedule. I would recommend this tip for pretty much every single player, regardless of your skill level. From the levels of noob to pro, everybody should at least have some variety of a schedule for when they play. Now the second tip is going to be for you guys to understand the season's meta very early. Now if you guys don't know what meta means, meta stands for most effective tactics available. And essentially what this means is that you need to go into the game and figure out what the most effective tactics are for the new season. I would recommend that you play as much arena and overall in-game Fortnite that you can once the new season launches. Don't waste any time playing creative or trying to warm up during that time. You also need to take into consideration which tactics work and which ones don't. So use all of the new weapons, use the new objects, use pretty much everything new in the game for a little while as the season starts to figure out which one you prefer and which one is actually the strongest. An example of this could be the fact that the combat shotgun came out back during Season 9 Chapter 1, and a lot of people didn't try it at first because they heard it was bugged, they heard it was bad, but then as people began to try it more and more, they realized that it was arguably the most powerful shotgun ever added. Then it became the brand new meta, where now if you didn't have a combat shotgun, you were going to be at a severe disadvantage. Now this is extremely important for actually playing to the meta. Almost every single time, the people that win FNCS and qualify to these grand finals of the tournaments are people playing by the meta. And the meta is always constantly changing and you need to keep adapting to it as the time goes on. Now the third tip I can give you guys is to find your teammate early. As you guys know, it is duos for the rest of 2022. And if you find your teammate early, regardless if it's trios or duos in the future, this will help you build chemistry with your duo or trio for a long amount of time. What it also does is prevents you from wasting time looking for a duo while you could rather be out there practicing. I cannot tell you guys how much I see people waste their time actually looking for a teammate rather than finding one and sticking with them and practicing. I think in my personal opinion and most pro players' personal opinion, if you guys find a teammate and you stick with them and make it work, it's going to be a lot better in the long run than hopping for a bunch of teammates going around from player to player. Finding yourself the perfect teammate is a really big benefit. Not only will you be very successful in your Fortnite games, but you're also going to be very successful in building chemistry with overall players and learning how to play to a specific playstyle. What this also means is that you guys need to solidify your roles early on, make sure that you know who's the IGL, who's the fragger, who's better at fighting, which guns you guys prefer. All of this stuff really matters, and you need to focus on doing that early on. Now the next tip is going to be to find your drop spot early. Now similarly to the last one, if you find your drop spot early, it helps you get used to this one spot a lot better. It also gives you a lot more time to learn it, and I explained exactly how to win off spawn in the previous video if you guys want to check that out. But if you find that drop spot pretty early, it gives you one less aspect of your game to worry about. Your early game is almost going to be completely solidified, considering that a drop spot is 90% of it. However, you need to be sure to choose your drop spot very carefully so that you don't have to change it later on in the season. What's really important is that you have a drop spot and you stick to it. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen new competitive players and even semi-pro players changing up their drop spot last minute just because they want to. Even if you have a couple of bad games at that drop spot, please don't give up, continue learning it, continue being consistent, continue getting better at that one POI. It's really going to help you out in terms of your consistency in the long run. Now the fourth tip is going to be for you guys to understand the format of FNCS with the new season. Now Epic Games doesn't really change the format all that much, however you do need to understand it. So I would recommend you guys understand and analyze the format for FNCS, note any changes within the meta, and understand exactly how you should play each game according to the format. You guys can make yourself a game map, which basically what this means is that each different game you need to set yourself a goal. For example, in game 1 I should W key more, in game 2 I should play passive, then games 3 to 5 I need to play a little bit more aggressive, and then games 6 to 10, I need to play very passive. That's just an example, that's not an actual game plan, just a hypothetical scenario. What you guys can do is also use Kinch Analytics to actually understand how many points you'll need to qualify. And then you can do what leads into my next tip, which is to track your points in scrims. Now this helps you emulate an actual tournament even better than before. What you should do is set yourself a goal for qualification by going into various servers like Kinch Analytics and checking out exactly how many points you may need for qualification according to your region, and then try to reach that goal after playing 10 games of scrims. I'd recommend every time you play scrims, you try to play at least 10 games, simply because this is the amount of games you're going to be playing when you're actually competing in FNCS. It's a really important fact that you always need to try your absolute hardest in the scrims. Never try to give half effort or not really try that much, because then you're just wasting precious practicing time at that point. Another really big benefit of using Kinch to track your points during scrims is that it's really easy to understand exactly how to play. In Kinch Analytics server, he has a whole section dedicated to exactly the best way to play during the season, whether you should W key, how you should W key, how you should play passive, and when you should play passive. If you follow all of his tips, you're definitely going to improve at a very fast level. Now my 7th and the final tip of this video is going to be for you guys to VOD review every single day. I would recommend that you VOD review after you play scrims, and my overall purpose for this is that it helps you identify and correct any mistakes that you may make. You and your duo should sit down in a Discord call, maybe take a couple of notes on your VOD reviewing sessions, just highlight any mistakes that you guys made as a duo, and agree to fix them and learn how to combat them a lot more. What this is going to do is help you improve your gameplay and learn from your mistakes. All you need to do is identify the mistakes, understand how to fix them, and then implement them into your new gameplay, which is going to skyrocket your gameplay at a level that you guys have probably never seen before. A lot of you guys think that you VOD review a lot, but VOD reviewing every day is the only correct way to actually improve. It's crazy how many times pros actually VOD review and you guys don't know about it, so you really need to start getting on this. This is a very important fact that a lot of people seem to miss. But if you guys follow all 7 of these tips, you're definitely going to be placing in FNCS. And I really hope you guys do, because I would love to see that happen. Anyways, guys, that is the video on the top 7 tips for FNCS in every new season. If you guys did enjoy, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel down below. I really enjoyed making this video simply because it made me look back on the past and see how pros prepared for their FNCS. And I always like a good trip down memory lane. But that's about it for this video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.